Tight what?
Posterior hip.
Tight. What's not moving?
No,
No, the hip joint in itself is stuck. It's not allowing, so it's not flexors or extensors. It's the joint itself is stiff, correct? Because it should allow 20 and it only allowed for 10 and then the pelvis started to move. What if it moved 30 before the pelvis started to move? What is that?
It's
Loose.
very loose.
No, think for
The ligaments.
why is it loose? Remember,
There's
why is something loose?
There's no
There's
strength
always
there.
something above it or below it that's not moving, and since we're moving towards above, then the relationship between the pelvis and the sacrum is the one that's stuck. Okay, let's say this again. So if we're here and I'm supposed to get 20, but I go all the way to 30, it's because this doesn't want to pick up and start moving. Do you guys understand that? So if I'm supposed to move 90 degrees and then 110, and then the pelvis is supposed to start to roll, and the pelvis doesn't, it's because the relationship between the pelvis and what it's connected to, which is the sacrum, is stuck. So immediately I'm able to tell what's not moving just by doing this 20-20-20 thing. So if I move from 20 degrees of hip flexion and I start to feel the pelvis, and then I start to feel the pelvis and the sacrum kicks in at 20 degrees later, everything is moving well. Mama bear is moving first, then Papa bear, and then baby bear, or whatever it is you think of it. But then, if one of them moves too much, it's because the other two are lagging behind. Does that make sense? So it's a great tool. But how does this relate to what we're doing? It means that I should not get any lumbar flexion normally all the way until I get to here. Okay, so if you're doing lumbar flexion like this and you think that's lumbar flexion, it is not. Lumbar flexion is here, you guys. You see? And so what the book shows you is you could do it that way, but with somebody as flexible as Karina, if she has very good flexibility, I'm going to need to switch my hands, and I'm going to need to come here and do a little bit over pressure. Okay? That's lumbar flexion. Okay? Now, lumbar rotation in your book is this. And it truly is rotation in the lumbar spine. If I keep going that thoracic spine already, I'm all the way up to like T6 or T5 here, okay? So it's not a whole lot. If I truly do want a lot of rotation to happen, I could do this, and I could do this, and now look at how much I can rotate her, okay? I can all the way into T3 if I wanted. So this is not truly just lumbar, this is lumbar and thoracic rotation, okay? Now, if I wanted to do side bending, which is not in your curriculum, but it's easy to do. I get her into 90, even a little bit more, and then if I step, Mary, all right, so if I step back, that is lumbar side bending, okay? So if I step back, lumbar side bending. Now, do we actually do this in the clinic? This is not the technique that therapists use to assess lumbar mobility. Turn on your side, towards me. My husband calls this his belly technique. So, his belly technique. So, scoot towards me a little bit. So what I do is, her knees are on my belly, okay? What am I doing with this hand? It's okay if I put my hand on your skin. So I want you guys to know, sacrum is right here. The first dip after sacrum is L5. Okay, now my fingers are spread out between the SPs of L5, L4, and L3, and I'm gonna need to move up if I need to go higher. Okay, so there's L5 come in. It's not a whole lot of motion. There's L4, 3, L2. That's all I did to get that, okay? This is how almost all therapists will do lumbar spine flexion. Okay? What's really cool about this position is, I'm gonna go back. So there's her sacrum. This is her L5. So if I lift up, there's sacrum L5 moving. 4, L3, L2, L1. Not a whole lot of motion, okay? If I drop her, I'm doing the opposite side bending, correct? She's side bending in the opposite direction, okay? So, rotation is very simple. My hand are right underneath her knee. I'm keeping her at 90 degrees. If I lift up, there's L5, L4, L3, L2, okay? That's all I did. Now to do a rotation in the opposite direction, I would need to turn on the opposite side. But I wanted to show you both ways because I want you to be aware that this is how people do it. They don't usually do that other technique, and maybe that other technique is not done as much, but they really want to show you in this how you would do passive range of motion to any body part. And that's why they show it to you. So I want you to go through the first one, lumbar flexion. The first one, sure. The one thing that your book doesn't show you is lumbar extension. So with lumbar extension, I'm going to just take her a little bit. You don't need to go that much for lumbar extension. Stay on your side. She wants to see.
We're videoing.
With lumbar extension, it's really fun because you don't need to lift both legs. And all you do, there's L5. Did you see that? Look at my fingers. They start to move right there. L5 is kicking into me. L4. L3. She's all right. Do you see how she's extending her spine? It's not that much. And I'm already at L2. Okay? So this is a good way to get extension. The other way, which is on, I'm going to have to break the table, go down there to get extension. Laying on their tummy is not a great way to do any type of range of motion. It's very stressful for the spine. So we're not going to do that. All right, so scoot again. So scoot again towards me. Make sure your patient's close to you when you do this. We're going to bend her knees, and you can do it one at a time. Okay? You're going to lift both 90 degrees, okay? You want to get your hands situated so that you're here, and you can definitely use this to help push you as a little lever arm. You can continue to support there, reach behind, and put some overpressure, okay? And then you can bring them back, rotation. That's what your book says. That's all the book requires, okay? So if I wanted to do side bending from this position, I definitely can. And I could even use this hand and create a little bit more overpressure. Okay? So there's mine. Okay? All right?
With the side bending, does the femur have to stay vertical?
Yes.
As you...
Yes, I'm trying to keep that.
Now you don't want us to, like how you're showing us, to put our hand underneath
Yes,
the
I do.
sacrum and to feel like...
Yes, I do want you to feel everything I did right now. I want you to try every single thing.
Yeah.
So every one of, I'll go around. Make sure
Okay.
you guys get to feel that. I want you to know that 20-20-20 rule. It's something I feel that it made me a different clinician when I could feel that.
Do you do that every time though?
Every single lumbar spine hip patient, I do that. I want to know, is it really a hip problem? Is it probably a sacral problem? Is it a lumbar spine problem?
So if it's
We
not
learned
moving-
special tests, and so if the special tests
No, I
match
think that's
this range of motion test,
very
and
smart.
I know I'm on the right track.
So if you didn't feel that